Matthew Long and I'm an online hypnotherapist. So what can hypnosis and hypnotherapy do for you? Well, this is what we're going to go through right now. Now, I've helped many people over the past few years with anxiety. Anxiety seems to be quite prevalent in today's society and it's very, very effective. I can also help with stress and any disorder that's exacerbated by stress, such as IBS or even eczema. And there's many other conditions, including fibromyalgia, which if we can reduce the stress level, the pain and the suffering reduces as well. I can also help you with depression, fears and phobias, PTS-D. I can also help with sleeping disorders and insomnia. I can also help you with your confidence and build up your self-esteem. I've helped people with all sorts of kinds of eating disorders, including bulimia, including ARFIDs, might be not one you've heard of, and of course anorexia, and other eating disorders such as chocolate addiction. Managed to help one lady not eat chocolate. Okay, so that can be really effective if you need to lose weight and want to improve your healthy lifestyle. I've got a very good track record on smoking cessation. You only need to go and look at my Facebook page and look at the comments I've had from all the people I've helped with smoking. There are many, many more things also that hypnotherapy can do for you. I had a lady with quite severe hay fever and we managed to turn down the symptoms so that you didn't have to take so much medication. So if you're not sure if I can help you or if there's something I haven't mentioned that you think I can help you with, then please do give me a call. All my details will be below this video. So first of all, we need to discuss how the brain works. Now, our brain, our chimp brain, our monkey brain, our reptilian brain, our subconscious part of our brain, whatever you would like to call it, it has two basic roles. First one is to survive, okay? And that's all instigated through emotion. The other part is to seek out happiness and pleasure. And of course, again, that is all linked to emotions. Okay, now we have two sides of the brain. The left side is our intellectual side of our brain, our logical side. It's the analytical side of our brain. It's the bit that we use for language. It's the bit we use for reasoning. It's the side that we use for science and maths and planning. And then we've got the other side of our brain. Now this is our subconscious part of the brain as well. Now this controls our imagination and our emotions. It also has our creativity, our intuition, our insight, and that's where our survival instincts come from. So knowing that we have these two sides of the brain and they are quite often in conflict, what we need to understand is that that survival instinct, that emotionally led side of the brain, will always win. Now, what we have in the middle of our brain also is something called the amygdala. Now the amygdala is quite a small part of the brain, about the size of an almond. It's not very big at all. It doesn't move, doesn't do much, but what it does do is it triggers the hormones that you need when it comes to a flight, fight, freeze response. So it pumps you full of all the chemicals, adrenaline, cortisol, and even some good ones as well, dopamines and serotonin, to help you focus, to help you deal with a difficult situation, to run away from a conflict, or even to take part in a conflict if that's what you need to do. So it'll give you all that adrenaline, all that buzz that you need to deal with something quickly and efficiently. Now we've all experienced situations like that, whether it's where we've had an argument, where we've had a verbal fight, or whether we've had a physical fight, or whether we've been really ill and we've just decided to curl up and hope it all goes away. Now, one thing we need to understand with this is that these hormones are okay in short bursts, but over a long period of time, if you're under stress for a long period of time, these chemicals, especially one that's called cortisol, has a very negative effect on the brain and the body. Now I can talk about cortisol in another video and you'll find that on my YouTube channel. I'll go into a lot more detail on its effects of the brain and the body. But for a short period of time it's great, but for a long period of time it's bad. Okay, now the amygdala, now this is a representation of an amygdala. It doesn't actually do this, of course, it just sits there and is absolutely perfectly still. But if you can imagine that this amygdala is sat there waiting for something to happen, whether it be good or bad. Is it going to hurt me? Am I going to enjoy it? Is it going to be bad? Do I need to run away? and then of course something bad happens and it spikes. And it's pumping you now full of chemicals, it's making you react quickly, it's making you stronger, making you faster. And then hopefully when the situation is over, it should just shut down. And then you go back to being normal. Now, many of us have had the experience of driving and someone pulls out in front of you and you've managed to swerve and avoid them. So for a split second, your amygdala's gone boom, pumped you full of loads of chemicals. And then you get past the danger and it shuts down again and your heart's racing and it all starts calming down quite quickly. That's all well and good. But if you can imagine what it would be like, and we've all seen people, and maybe some of you have even experienced a fear of spiders. Okay, sat there watching TV, spider runs across the floor, boom, you're now pumped full of loads of chemicals. If you do have a fear or a phobia of spiders, you may even jump on the settee, you may even run out of the room. And you won't go back in until you know that spider's gone. If you're not that scared of spiders, you might jump initially and then calm down and get rid of the spider in whichever way you'd like to. But if you're one of these people who does have that fear, it stays open. You stay in a higher state of alertness. All you can think about is, where is that spider? If it's in your bedroom, you may decide to go and sleep in another room. It can be that debilitating for some people. And it doesn't just have to be a fear of spiders. It could be any fear, any negative emotion that could play on you and hold you into a position of high alertness all the time. So what we do with hypnotherapy, what we do is we focus on that emotion. So that fear, that negative emotion that won't let the amygdala shut down, is we focus on it. So as we focus on it, it gets bigger. We don't have to talk about it, all we have to do is feel it. So once we can feel it, we can then remove it. And we'll make sure that when we remove it, we'll remove all of it, or at least most of it, so that your amygdala can then shut down. Once that fear's then gone, we give you nice happy feelings as well instead. But once that feeling's gone and your amygdala's shut down, you can go back to being normal. You can go back to feeling normal, which is a much nicer place to be. You're not stressed, you're not anxious, you're not getting pumped full of all those negative chemicals that you don't need. You can go back to being normal. So we've all experienced hypnosis at some point in our lives, whether it's through watching a film. Horror films are a classic example. We know it's not real, but we feel fear, we feel anticipation, we get worried, we get scared. We know it's not real. And that's one thing we do know, is that our subconscious part of our brain can't tell the difference between our imagination and reality. And Hollywood now are the best hypnotists in the world, because they will make you feel all sorts of emotions during the film, during a program, during a TV series. And that's what they play on. They use the music, they use the sound, they use everything they can to make you and immerse you into that film, so you feel all the feelings that the characters are experiencing at the same time. Now, I've already mentioned the one when we're driving. You could have a near miss and be pumped full of loads of chemicals. But how many times have you driven somewhere and you can't remember how you got there? You've gone into some form of trance-like state. And you get to the other end of your journey and you're like, were the traffic lights red? I can't remember. Did I slow down for the speed camera? I'm not sure. But we get there, and we get there safely, which is the best thing. We also experience some kind of trance, some kind of hypnotic state when we're playing games. Someone talks to you and you don't hear them. Okay? I'm sure a lot of you out there have experienced that with your children. And maybe you remember when you were a child watching TV and your mum or dad called you and you can't remember hearing them, and they shout at you 2 or 3 times before you respond. But it can happen with simple things like reading a book, a really good book. You get focused on it, you go into a trance-like state. So what we realise with that then, that to achieve hypnosis, all we need to do first is achieve focus. Once we can get focus, we can achieve hypnosis. It's entirely up to you whether you let yourself go into hypnosis or not. I am just a guide, and I will guide you into self-hypnosis. You then decide whether you allow yourself to go into hypnosis or not. I can't force you, okay, and I certainly wouldn't try to force you. But if you want to make positive life changes and you're booking an appointment, I will assume that you want to go into hypnosis, and we will make those positive life changes happen. Now, when you're in hypnosis, will you know it? Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't matter. If we've achieved focus first, we've got the focus of our subconscious monkey brain. Once we've achieved that, we can then use that to encourage your subconscious part of your brain to achieve the things that you want to achieve in the session. One thing you will know, and I'll let you know now that will happen, is that you will remain awake throughout the session. You'll remain alert throughout the session. You may feel very relaxed and you may feel comfortable closing your eyes, but you won't fall asleep. You'll remember everything that happens in the session. You'll be in full control throughout, so if at any time you're not happy with what's going on, you can snap yourself out of it. But what you will remember from it is that you will be very calm, you'll be very relaxed, and it is a wonderful experience, so enjoy it. Now, if you do have any questions, please do get in touch with me. I am very passionate about what I do, and I am very passionate about helping people. So please do get in touch, and if you've already booked a session, I can't wait to see you face to face. Thank you very much for your time. All my links will be below, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.